Okay, so for the iRig, all that we basically do is we create a bone for the eye, okay, which is part of the armature. And that bone is linked to another bone directly in front of it, and if you move the bone in front, the bone at the back looks at it. Okay, so not incredibly complicated. In terms of the actual shapes that I have, okay, I've got my eyeball, okay, and then my eye lens, okay, which are two separate objects. So we just need to then in the end parent both of these or constrain both of these to those bones. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to select the eye lens over there, and I'm going to press Shift S, move cursor to selected, so my cursor is over there. Okay, now Z. Okay, select my armature, go into edit mode. Okay, and I'm going to create new bones for these shapes. So I'm going to say, let's deselect everything. I'm going to say Shift A, which should, I think it has, I just think it's all the way over there. Okay, which then does that. Okay, so this new bone, I can now scale it down. I'm going to scale it from my 3D cursor. Okay, just a bit smaller, and then I'm also going to try and get it to face forward. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to select the head of it and do that. Okay, I'm going to just pull it there. Then to get it to actually be, well, so that I'm sure that it is facing forward, I'm going to just go into this menu, and the Z value, which is the up and down of both, needs to be the same. Okay, so the head needs to be the same as the tail, so I can copy that, show you that. That's the back one. That I can copy in over there. Other way around. That I can copy in over there. Okay, so there we have both, well, it's straight. Okay, so now in edit mode, I can go name this to left eye. Okay, and then to set the actual, well, to create everything that we need. First, I'm going to make another one, so I'm going to say Shift D, and then just slide that forward. Okay, enough, not too much. Okay, that's going to be my left eye look at. Okay, so it's going to look at that object. Then I'm going to select it again. Okay, Shift D and drag it up. Okay, that is giving me my left eye pole vector, pole target in Blender. So I'm just going to call it PT for pole target. Okay, and then the last thing that we need, so I'm also going to just duplicate this one and scale it down just a little bit. Okay, mostly just so I can see that circle sticking out of the first bone. And this is my envelope object. Okay, so those are all the things that we need. We need our look at, we need our main bone, we need our envelope, and we need our pole target. Okay, so all of those have now been named. Okay, and now to set it up, we can do the following. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. I'm going to also, let's just carry on. Okay, so first of all, go into pose mode, select your rig, excuse me. Talking all day makes me cough. Okay, so select that bone, okay, and what we need to do is give it, it sounds simple, simple as in silly, but it works. Give it a IK constraint onto that bone. Okay, so in your bone constraints, go add constraint and say inverse kinematics. Okay, and then the target is then your left eye. Sorry. What? Oh, face rig first of all, and then over here, left eye look at. Okay. Pole target is also in our face rig, which is then our left eye pole target. Okay, so that Should now have set it up so that if I move this object, okay, we can see the bone is now looking, you can see it barely, is now looking at this object, no matter where it is. Cool. Okay. Now, this envelope object, what that is eventually, when we stick everything together, we can envelope a little bit, just the rim of our eyelids to this bone so that it rotates with the eye a little bit. Okay, so that if your eye looks one direction, that the eyelids follow slightly. Okay, so that basically needs to move a little bit with this. Okay, now what you should notice if I click on the two of them, okay, is that the arrows of them are pointing differently. Okay, the blue one's pointing that way on that one, and the blue one's pointing up on that one. Okay, so they need to point in the same direction for this to work. Okay, so if I select the main one, okay, in its IK constraint, there's this pole angle. Okay, I can set that, I can change that, and you'll see that its rotation then changes. So if I make that 90, its z-axis, which is the blue arrow, points upward, which is the same as that one. Okay, now with this one selected, I can add a bone constraint called copy rotation. Okay, now if you do that, you should notice that it doesn't change at all. Also, if you adjust, still need to tell her what it needs to copy, so it won't adjust at all. Okay, that one, and then it's left eye. Okay, so if you've selected the actual root bone and slide this influence slider, it shouldn't move at all. Okay, it will if, let me just show you what it'll look like if it's done wrong. Okay, if it's done wrong, then you'll slide that and you'll see your envelope bone turn. Okay, it mustn't turn at all. Okay, otherwise it's wrong. Okay, so that's why we adjust that pole angle to be 90. Okay, so that it doesn't. Okay, now what we can do is set this influence very small. We can set it to say 0.1, and what that'll do is if we move our look at control, okay, I'm just going to move it slightly more closer to there so we can see a bit better, so you guys can see a bit better. Okay, so if I now move my look at control, we can see that our main bone is moving a lot and our envelope bone is moving slightly. Okay, so when we go and parent our eyes, we will be able to have the eyes move mostly and then the eyelids will just move a little bit. Okay. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to reset that. Now all that we basically have to do is copy it to the other side and then parent our eyeballs to it and then make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is in object mode, sorry, edit mode. Let's go to object mode first. Just want to isolate my rig, okay, or my face rig. Then go into edit mode, and then I need to just duplicate all of these. Okay, so go to my front view. You should be able to select more easily. There should be 3 over there and 1 over there. Okay, so that is my root bone, my envelope bone, my look at, and my pole target. Okay, so over there, now I'm going to do that whole mirroring trick. Okay, so Shift C resets our 3D cursor to the middle of the middle of our scene. Okay, set our pivot point to the 3D cursor. Then we say Shift D, scale on the X-axis by -1. Enter. In our armature menu, we say flip names. Okay. And then we just need to go set up the constraints again for this side, because I do believe that it's not done automatically. Okay, it doesn't keep the constraints, which is weird. It should. Like it does. Okay, so it does keep the constraints. Okay, we don't have to set those up again. Okay, so that, if we now select both, we'll have both of our eyes looking around with the envelope objects moving a little bit, and we're so far almost good to go. Okay. Just while I'm in this view, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide those because I don't really need them anymore. So with each of these, if you go to the bone display, I can just say hide. Okay, they're not important. You could also put them on a layer which you have hidden, but I haven't really worked with layers much to know how to do that or need to do that. Okay. So far, so good. Okay, so let's also just quickly go back to our front view. just make little widgets for our look at. So if we go Shift A, mesh, sorry, get that open first. Shift A, mesh, circle, line to view, set this to 8. Actually, we can leave it where it was. They're going to be circles in any case. So Shift A, mesh, circle, line to view. Okay, do that, scale it down. Okay, so this I'm going to call face control. Oh, I've already deleted the others. Left, or look, left eye look at. Even just eye look at will be fine. Okay, so now for both of these objects, okay, I'm going to go to my bone, custom shape, FC, eye look at, okay. It's wrong, so what I need to do is just rotate this one. So select all of that, rotate, flip it up, okay, and it should work if I just rotate it by 90 degrees, okay. So there's that one. So I can do the same for this one. Okay, maybe just make it a little bit smaller so that they don't break into each other. Then, to make it easier to animate, okay, what we can do, where did all the others go? No wonder. It's all in there. Okay, anyway, what we can do then to make it easier to animate with is add an extra bone in the middle, so we use a global control to move both eyes. And then these can be used to animate the eyes individually, like if you have to go squint or something. Okay, so again, select my face rig, go into edit mode. Okay, I'm going to actually just, I wonder if I can just duplicate that. Let me just duplicate that, okay, and set the X values to 0 for both the head and the tail. So it's in the middle, okay, perfectly in the middle. I'm also going to call it look at. Okay, and then that I'm going to make a new shape. Circle. Okay, which I'm going to set to have 4 points, so it's literally just a circle. Edit mode, rotate them all so that they're like that, and then scale it together, I think. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Then that I'm going to call FC look at. Okay, I can go into pose mode, pose. Go into there and say FC look at. Okay, okay, so that's wrong as well. So rotate it upright, scale it up. So let's first scale it down, and then scale it up. Okay, so something like that should be fine. Okay, now that then allows us, if we go in edit mode again, select our rig, go into edit mode, we want to basically parent that one, that bone, and that bone to that bone. So just shift selecting it last, Control P, and say keep offset. Okay, that would then allow us to, in pose mode, move this object around, so we can say that, and both our eyes will follow. Okay, which so far pretty cool. Now to actually see if it's done anything that we can use, I'm going to go and look for all my eye objects. So I'm guessing is all in there still. Okay, so all of those, I want that one, that one. Okay, let's just make more sense of this. That should be fine. That one, so my left eyeball and my left eye lens. Okay, so just shift click them. I want to parent to that bone. Okay, so Control P and say bone. Okay, then my eye lens, if I can find it ever again. Same for the other side, that one and that one. Shift that one, Control P and bone. Okay, now my eye lens, point. Okay, my lens, I just want to turn the visibility of it off so I can actually see what's happening. My eyeball, I want to turn my wireframe on so I can see what's happening there. You as well. Okay, a lens off. Don't actually know if this is going to work, but I'm hoping it is. Okay, why? Okay, now hopefully, if everything's gone well, we can move this around. And our eyes should follow. Nah. Damn it, how hard is it to move something? Oh, goodness. Okay, cool. So that then works. Okay, so iRig. There we go. Okay, as you can see there, our eyes are following, everything works, everything looks nice and cool. Okay, now we'll get to adding the actual, or enveloping the eyelids to the envelope bone at a later point when we connect everything together, because we need to have the body and the body rig and the face rig part of the same armature. Okay, don't want to hide those two. I can actually hide all of these, but those I'll leave there for now. Okay, just so I don't lose them. Okay, so that is the iRig. Okay, simple as that. Okay, and I do believe that that's everything except for the sliders that we need to put on those, which I'll still try and figure out. Any questions? A lot to take in this week. Okay, we really got a lot done. Okay, excuse me. That was short. How lovely.